Hello. You just missed the torrential rain, by the way. Lucky you. I don't know if this focus stack is going to be successful because the light has been continuously shifting as I'm working and it's been a bit of an exposure nightmare. But also I'm pretty sure I managed to knock my tripod midway through the stack. So, yeah. This woodland macro mushroom hunt is kindly sponsored by NPB. The weather is looking pretty dismal over the next couple of weeks. We've got a storm rolling in a few days' time. So this video is really just going to be a montage of when I managed to get out in between the rough weather to come and do some autumn forest photography. And yes, it's most likely that this video will be majority macro mushroom photography because they are everywhere. It's the perfect time of year to photograph them. There's such an abundance of them and I'm not wasting this opportunity. I did not lie when I said that we are riding the macro mushroom train all the way through until winter, so I'm excited. There are mushrooms absolutely everywhere in here. In fact, I'm just going to stand still for a minute because I've got to be really careful about where I put my feet. I don't want to stand on any of them. They're so tiny and delicate. They blend in so well. We've got some cracking fungi on the base of this tree. Look at these, they look fantastic. I love the long stems and the way they remind me of meerkats, the way they're kind of just looking around the forest. I think there's probably a photo or two here, but I don't think we're going to stay in this area for very long because it's gone very dark in here. And I think we're going to run into issues with light for filming and photography. Well, we are bunkering down to take this shot. Usually when I'm working low to the ground like this and photographing mushrooms, I do try and aim for a horizontal composition where possible. Just because it's easier to see what I'm doing where I can flip the screen out. When I'm vertical like this, I have to get pretty low to the ground in order to see what on earth is going on my screen and to make sure that I'm focusing properly. The light is very in and out today, and so I'm using a reflector and an LED light just to help me out a bit and to fill in some of the shadows on this mushroom. And if you're not sure how effective a reflector can be, it makes a difference. I think that storm is coming in. Seeing as the light, the sun, has gone completely. I am chasing it, but it's gone. This is not going to plan. Okay. I'm a little concerned that there doesn't seem to be a tripod on my bag. These translucent capped mushrooms are everywhere at the moment, and I really, really like them. I'm quite fond of these. And they are scattered around everywhere. No tripod and no camera. I think we've had a teleportation accident because I definitely packed my camera today. Hopefully they're around here somewhere. Aha! What is going on over here? Oh yes, this is mine. Well. What have we got going on here? Today we are using the Nikon D850 and a Nikon 105mm micro lens, a lens that I have wanted to try out for a while now, and ideally these two bits of kit together should allow me to shorten the time that it takes for me to focus stack my mushroom images. This lens has autofocus capability and my 850 has focus shift shooting, so I can set the camera up to take a series of shots starting from a selected focus position, continuing all the way through until infinity. I think 20 images is enough to get this family portrait of fungi in focus, and I like the way they're positioned on this broken bit of branch. It looks like a boat and they're sort of all riding the mossy waves together, which I find really, really cool. I'm going to set it to 30 shots though, just to make sure that we get this scene sharp all the way through, and I'm going to focus before the fungi on this moss and this branch here. Now I am dubious about macro photography and autofocus. I manually focus all of my macro images because I know exactly where I want to focus on these tiny, tiny, delicate subjects. And already I'm finding when I'm trying to autofocus on the screen here, it's just not quite hitting the mark. It's not quite focusing exactly where I want it to. So I am manually focusing before I start the focus shift shooting. Otherwise it's going to do its thing. It's going to take 30 images for me, and in the meantime I can stretch my back, I can have a little dance, I can have a snack before coming back, and this image is done. We can move on. I want to photograph as many different varieties of mushrooms that I can find, really. It's sort of like Pokemon, you've got to catch them all. The focus shift shooting function is definitely very, very useful. It's allowing me to work a lot faster and take more images and look for more fungi. I'm sort of just finding mushrooms in ones and twos now, and I really want to photograph a cluster of them with the Nikon lens, similar to what we photographed earlier on in this video. And I also want to do a bit of a side-by-side with the Nikon lens and the Loawa lens to see, because the Loawa lens is super, super sharp. It's a really sharp lens. So I want to see how the Nikon does in comparison. So I think that is a test that we're going to do tomorrow. Just having a cuppa while I wait for the rain to stop. It keeps raining in my coffee. There are a couple of amazing clusters of mushrooms in here. They look fantastic, but I am not getting a tripod in here. And leave the forest as you found it. I'm not going to go hacking away at all of these branches and things to try and get in there. But that is what we want to see today. That's what I want to find today. So I suppose coffee break over. We best get to it. Not really sure where to put this now. Where's the nearest sink? I think for the lens sharpness test, we're going to photograph these mushrooms. They are very detailed and textured, so I think they would be the perfect test subjects. I'm going to use a reflector just to bounce a bit of light on these mushrooms as it has gone dark while it is raining. But we're going to start with the Nikon lens, going to focus, shift, shoot a shot, and then swap to the Loawa lens and manually focus that image. And then I guess we will compare the two, zoom in as close as possible, and see if there's much of a difference. The Loawa lens is admittedly sharper than the Nikon in my opinion, but you do have to remember that the Nikon lens is a much older lens. The Nikon image is still great quality, and boosting sharpness in post-processing brings it up to speed with the Loawa without making any potential noise visible. I really do want to explore the mossy areas because that's where all the mushrooms are. There's loads of them. That's where I'm going to find clusters of them. But it is so dark in here and it's just not suitable for filming. So for now, we're going to stick to the edge of the forest where the light is and see what we can find. It's amazing what you do find though when you look hard enough. I've actually really enjoyed using the Nikon lens today. It is such a great quality macro lens, and if you're getting into macro photography, I think the autofocus and the VR could be really, really useful. But with the 850, the focus shift shooting capability is absolutely fantastic. It really does shave down the time that I spend sitting here focus stacking. With that being said, the 2x magnification on the Loawa lens is really, really fun to have. It just means you can get super up close without having to use extension tubes. It is a really, really sharp lens as well. And both of these lenses tick boxes depending on what it is that you want or need. If you need the high-tech stuff, then the Nikon is perfect. If you just want to go full manual and you want sharp images, then this lens is cracking. I do just want to thank MPB for allowing me to borrow this lens for this video. It's been an absolute treat, and also for sponsoring today's video. MPB is the largest global platform to buy, sell and trade in used video and photo kits. MPB's circular model sees hundreds and thousands of cameras, lenses, lots of different types of equipment put back into the hands of photographers and videographers around the world to allow them to achieve their creative desires. Buying used is more affordable and sustainable. It also extends the life of perfectly good kit, just like this Nikon macro lens. Sometimes we outgrow our kit as our creative desires and needs change. And instead of allowing that kit to be unused and gather dust on a shelf, it could be perfectly useful to someone else. And so when I have gear that I no longer need, I do an instant quote and sell it on MPB. All you need to do is state what it is that you're selling or trading in, the condition of it, pick a date to have your kit picked up, and MPB takes it from there. Whether I'm buying, selling or trading in these days, I go to MPB because their service is so easy and hassle-free. So go and check it out for yourself. I'll leave the link down in the description box for you. And thank you once again, MPB, for sponsoring today's video. Right, I'm going to end this video here. Unfortunately, we only get a few good hours of light in the forest these days because the days are shorter, but I also do need to go and hand this lens back to MPB. But I could really just spend the next year in here photographing mushrooms because they are everywhere and it's so fun. So I'm going to end this video with my favorite image from today, and I'd love to know what your favorite is. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Look at this. This is crazy. It is. It's like the size of my face. Wow. That is so cool. It is really slimy though.